Welcome to Thrive. As we close out the Mental Health Awareness Month, let's dive into what this truly means.
I'm Naty.
I'm Veda, and
And we
we're
are
here
here
to
to
thrive.
thrive. Let's just kick things right in and let's explore the history behind why May is the Mental Health Awareness Month.
Well, Psychiatric Advisor says that back in 1917, the U.S. Surgeon General enlisted Mental Health America to develop a mental health program for the military as they were preparing for World War I. This initiative was the foundation to the broader recognition that we see today.
And just so you know, Mental Health America is a nonprofit organization that existed back then and it still exists now. The government didn't have any mental health programs. So that's why, as they were getting ready for the war, knowing that it would have some effects in the military, they designated for them, who were the only ones at the time or the main ones advocating for mental health programs, to draft their programs for the military.
Awesome.
After that, President Harry Truman called for a comprehensive health program in 1945 that laid the groundwork for significant legislation. That's when it was starting to go for us, culminating in the National Mental Health Act of 1946 that established the National Institute of Mental Health, which we currently have. And that's when May was designated the Mental Health Awareness Month in 1949. The idea is to increase awareness and understanding of mental health.
Over the decades, Mental Health Awareness Month has evolved with expanded research, legislation, and public awareness campaigns. What was initially a week-long observance has grown into a month-long platform for education and advocacy.
See, the importance of Mental Health Awareness Month can be overstated. For too long, mental health has been stigmatized, deterring many for seeking help. Part of the reason why Thrive exists. We are trying to bring education and information so that the stigma of mental health can reduce, because it might not ever go away, but to reduce the stigma of mental health and bring education, bring information, and for those who are trying to decide if they need to get help, to encourage them
Yes.
to do so.
Yes. Without being ashamed.
Correct.
There's nothing to be ashamed of. Normalizing help seeking behavior is crucial. It's okay not to be okay sometimes. And seeking assistance is a sign of strength, not weakness.
And although a lot of progress has been made in the journey toward stigmatizing mental health, there's still a lot of work to be done. And this month gives us the opportunity to initiate those conversations. Again, this is part of our reason for existing. We want to have those conversations. We want to be part of those conversations. One of the things we want to establish is a community. We don't necessarily want to just be here talking to you, giving information. We want to be part of a community where we can be supported, where we can give you resources, where you can ask questions, and build a community where all together can support and empower one another. We are committed to debunking misconceptions surrounding mental health by fostering open dialogue, sharing our own experience. We're going to be transparent. What we do right, we do right. What we do wrong, we do wrong. And at all struggles, we are willing to share them with you. We aim to create a supportive environment for those of us facing mental health challenges.
Yes. And there is some good news. There are some things that you can do to make your mental health healthier. And I'm going to go down a list of things to give you ideas of what you can do and what you need to find in maintaining your mental health well-being. That's very important. Okay? I'm going to share some self-care practices. And the first one is activities in improving mental health. activities such as, now for me, I have a tablet and I like to download games that keep my mind alert, which is really good. And they could be fun, you know? Um, you may like to play chess or checkers. You can either do that on a table with someone, but if you're by yourself, you can download the app and you can play your favorite game. Doing something that you like will definitely bring your blood pressure down, make the throbbing go away, and calm you down. So it's very important. Let's not minimize this. What about guided meditation?
Absolutely.
Mindfulness meditation is a practice that involves paying attention to the present moment without judgment or distraction. That's good. How about gratitude journal? Now, I journal.
I'm going to do a shameless plug.
Hmm.
I wrote a journal. It's called the Gratitude Journal.
Yes.
It's for a 15-day challenge to a stronger you. But the Gratitude Journal has its own book separate. I'll put the link at the bottom. But if you are interested in doing gratitude journaling, that is a way that you can start. I can't tell you the price right now because I can't remember.
Okay.
But it's on Amazon. I'll put the link at the bottom. And if you want to start journaling, everything that you do repetitive becomes a habit. So that's just a starting point for somebody who wants to do a gratitude journal. And it's called that. It's called the Gratitude Journal. I'll let you all know if you want to check it out.
Sounds great. If someone you love is no longer with us, like my mom went to heaven 8 years ago. Even though it's been 8 years, some days could be a little tougher than others. But I have learned how to manage her not being here physically. And one of the ways that I do it, when I journal, I started off, Dear Mama. So it's like I am giving her an update or giving her the highlights or the lows, of how I feel. But just writing Dear Mama, it helps me to be able to get things off of my mind and off of my heart. And so that could be an idea or a loved one that you have that's no longer with you.
I was in a meeting today, and one of the things they said to alleviate the stress and burnout was journaling. But the example he gave was you journal to your own self. This is the way he put it. He's, you know how you sometimes hear people say, "What would you tell your 18-year-old
your
self?"
younger
Right.
self.
Well,
Yes.
he's doing it in the opposite. He's talking to his elder self.
Okay.
So when he journals, he journals the problems that he's having now to tell his future self how he resolved them. So that when he looks back, he already told his old self what to do.
And that's real good.
Yeah.
Because I don't know about you, but I have to talk to myself all the time. And I do it a lot when I'm in the mirror, brushing my teeth or getting ready for the day, talking to myself, telling myself that whatever comes, God has already equipped me to handle it. And knowing that God's got my back.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, because every day I wake up, my mind is not always in gear to, oh, let's get going, let's do our day. Sometimes it's, oh my God, I want to stay in the bed, I want to stay under the cover. Let's keep the curtains closed and keep the room dark. Okay.
I call her bedroom the dungeon.
Yeah, she calls my bedroom the dungeon because when you close the curtains, you cannot see anything.
Before you move from the topic of journaling, I think one of the good things about journaling is the fact that, and it's very related to mental health. You can realize your patterns. If you're not focusing on what you're writing, you just every day just sit and write what you're feeling, unfiltered. And weeks from now, months from now, you go back, you're gonna realize your patterns. You're gonna realize the things. You can realize improvements and declines, but you're also gonna see, wait a minute, always react this way. But wait a minute, every time this happens, that happens. And you will be able to create um, consciousness of patterns that are not good for you.
Right.
And you will be able to gain consciousness and actually be able to work on them.
Right.
So that's one of the benefits of journal.
Yeah, that is a good benefit of journaling, because if you're seeing that you are unconsciously practicing bad behavior, you'll see it in writing and say, wait a minute, on this day, a couple of days pass, or 4 or 5 days in a row, so that can make you aware. This is where I need to work on.
Right.
And you can go from there. So journaling has so many positive aspects to help you on your mental journey. Let's go to another one. How about outdoor mental wellness activities?
Yes. You know, I remember sometimes when you've had like a terrible, if I was working from home and you just came out of a meeting that was so heavy, and I just put myself unavailable. I live in a street that is a cul-de-sac, and I just walked down the street and came back. Just the fact that the sun was hitting me in the face, and the wind, and looking at something other than my computer on the walls, that did it. But when I was working from the office, you can just do the same. You go out of the building and walk outside around the parking lot, and just look at a tree.
Yeah.
Some flowers or something. Greenery has the tendency to calm you down. So I mean, exercise is great for mental health. And I'm not the guru in exercise. I'm definitely not visibly, but but walking helps. Just sitting outside. I remember I used to live in this little apartment, and by Friday you're so exhausted. And the apartment, the balcony gate looked towards the parking lot, but it was kind of higher, so it was covered by trees, and I would just sit there on Friday nights with a cup of lemonade, just looking at the cars go by on Friday. And that was that was decompression for me. So yeah, being outdoors. I know we are not very outdoorsy people, but going out for a walk, um, going, look at the sun on the
Taking
flowers.
the baby to the park where he can run around and stuff. Yeah, that's good. We can wear him down while we're bettering our mental.
Yeah, things like that. But even small things like just sitting outside for a little bit, and just looking at the trees in your backyard. That helps you decompress.
Yes, I have been there. I have a deck on the back of my house. I have about 10 100-foot trees in my backyard, and it gives a certain amount of shade, which is great. And when that breeze comes through the trees, I mean, it's like it's speaking peace, be still, So you have to find what's best for you and what you enjoy doing. And Naty, don't you also, when you have to break away from work, you play Sims games, right?
I do. I'm a simmer.
What's a Sim?
That's the name of somebody who plays Sims. The Sims 4. It's a simulation game where you basically simulate life, and you create people. I mean, different simmers are different. Some people create clothes. Some people create people. I love building houses.
Yes, she does.
I love
Families.
yeah, I create families and
Mhm.
and all kinds of stuff. But I love creating houses. And my latest thing is I'm into tiny houses
Mm.
because I'm trying to see how much I can stuff, how many utilities I can stuff in the small space.
Mhm.
So yeah, that is super cool because I don't have a budget, so I can decorate and create a whole house, either a mansion or a tiny house.
Mhm.
I don't have to pay for it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I don't have a budget.
That is
I
awesome.
can't do it with my own house,
Mhm.
so I don't have a budget. I can spend millions
A
of.
girl can dream.
I
can't
get
she?
exactly.
Yes, she
Yeah,
can.
I can spend millions of simoleons, which is
Mhm.
the currency,
Mhm.
and uh, shut it down. Oh, and then when I create families, when I'm tired of the toddlers, I can just shut down the computer. I can't shut down my baby.
Am I wrong? But one time, didn't you like go to the bathroom and when you came back,
So she,
people were pregnant?
yeah, yeah, and I've gone to the kitchen and Child Protective Services took my babies away.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is on the
In the
game,
game.
people.
Yes, on the game.
App only.
Yeah, on the
Okay.
game.
Don't get the wrong
No,
idea.
no, no, no.
Look, have you ever thought about a mental health workshop? Very interesting.
Yeah.
Well, they have people come in and talk to you about different things in
Mhm.
different ways um, to keep your mental health up, to keep you, even though it's some difficult days, still you have resources and tools that you can use to just wash away the day
Mhm.
and just get into a peaceful, relaxing mode. We need that. We're in a busy world.
Absolutely.
Busy, busy, busy. When I was growing up, we didn't have all of this. If you want to talk to somebody, you would get the phone off the wall with the 6-foot cord that my grandma had. You could go in every room in our house.
See, my mom and I had that conversation. My mom was like, "You guys have more facility and technology, and you see more stress." I explained to her mom because back in your day, when you got out of work, nobody could call you to tell you stop at the store
Mm-hmm.
until you got home.
Right.
And then by then the store probably was closed, so you had to plan it for the next day.
Right.
Now with the cell phones, you get 15 calls before you get from the office to the parking lot.
Mm-hmm.
Child number one wants this, child number two was that, the husband wants that, and the boss called you back for something. You got 20 other text messages from the school and everybody else. So it's a different. Yeah, we have more access, but that has its own issues.
Yeah, and you also have to disconnect
Mhm.
from technology. Okay?
The best thing I ever did was in all phones, everybody has a smartphone at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Your phone has a mode where you can put it on nighttime. I forgot the name of it. But it doesn't give you any notifications from certain time
Time.
to a certain time.
Mm-hmm.
Find that setting on your phone. Don't worry about emergencies because there's certain people that you can exclude from there. Like when my mom was alive, I obviously, if I needed to get a call from her at 3 o'clock in the morning, I needed to. If you have adult children, and just in case there's an emergency, there's certain people that you can take out from there, and the phone will ring. But other than that, everybody else needs to call 911 too.
That's true. That is true. Um, what about music therapy?
I love that.
Music therapy is very good.
Well, music therapy has many ways that you can do it. I don't know how you do it. I do not have the gift of singing. I'm not going to. She sings. I can't. But I sing very loud when I'm stressed out.
Yes, she does.
I go to for my favorite songs and I sing them like I have a whole coliseum full of people.
And an orchestra behind her.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Full lungs. Yeah, but I'm not gonna put you through that. And if I'm in the car, it's even worse.
Yeah.
Because I dance and everything.
Yeah. But it makes you feel good. See,
Oh, yeah.
and you got to find your niche. You have to find what works for you and what makes you happy. When I get home at night from a long day, I love being on my tablet. I have games that I play on my tablet that really relax me. I have games that can challenge me. I also love coloring on my tablet. It is so calming. Now, she is a puzzle person. I tried the puzzle. I'm like, I can't do this. So the coloring is good for me. Yeah. So you have to find what works for you. And we're still talking about good mental health. Absolutely. You know, sometimes you just have to walk away. Go in your room, close the door, and let them know, give me 30 minutes, give me an hour, and then I'll be able to tackle whatever is inside the door.
For single moms with little ones, I know that's not an option. Put a lot of toys somewhere. Babies are actually easier because they don't move. But if they're toddlers that they're moving and they want your attention, you put a lot of toys and some snacks. And sometimes they're able to give you 5-10 minutes. So that's a good one for moms.
And the last one I have is walking meetings. Let's say you have a meeting.
Yeah.
You put in your earbuds, go walking. Just strolling. I'm not talking about a power because they're going to hear you huffing and puffing. But if you like a casual stroll through the park or through your neighborhood, you know, just walking 6, 7, 8 o'clock, probably 7, 8, 9 o'clock when it's cooler. But you're talking to somebody on the phone in a meeting or just talking, and just walk. And that could also help you.
I have one that I know is not going to be on your list because it's something you don't like. And it's the self care of massages, pedicures, that type of stuff. She don't want to be in touch. So I mean, not everybody can afford it. But if you can afford it, do it to yourself.
Do it.
You know, remember when we did the episode of hugs that we can hug ourselves?
Yes.
You can massage yourself. You can massage your feet with lotion, even from the dollar store. Take care of yourself. And so I'm not going to mention the store because I'm not going to do the announcement. But the store that everything smells good.
Oh yeah, our favorite store.
Our favorite store. They have sales all the time, and you can buy some stuff.
Aromatherapy.
Yeah. Yes. Candles.
I'm a candle girl.
Yes.
Yes.
So
the right candle can put you in the right mood, or the right candle can take you from the stressfulness you are right now into a calming, situation or into a calming place. I love candles, always have. So you pick what's good for you, but you're worth the research to find out what helps me after difficult day, a packed day, and what's going to help me calm down so that I can get the best sleep that I need so that I can wake up and do this all over again.
One of the things that I want to say, and that this is great for self care, but when we're talking about mental health in general, I want to make sure that everybody hears this part of the message is do not be afraid to seek help. And help looks very different depending on the situation. One of the issues with the stigma of mental health is that everybody thinks that if somebody has a mental health issue, they're in a padded room banging their heads against the wall. That was a Fly with the Cuckoo's Nest. That was the movie. And,
that was the movie.
Yeah, and I got horrified with the movie. And but that's not reality. When everybody gets stressed, everybody gets stressed, and I remember this psychiatrist, I forget his name, that says that the only person that doesn't have dysfunction is the one that doesn't have a belly button. Can somebody find me the person without the belly button?
So we
all have stress
at one time or another.
Right. And sometimes they have levels to seeking help. It could be just talking to a friend or a family member or your spouse, depending on where the issue's coming from.
Yeah.
Always look for a safe person.
Yes.
But if you don't have that support, or if you need more support than that what they can give you, then next step maybe is a leader in your church. And churches have licensed people or at least coaches that are trained to deal with mental health, with depression, with anxiety. Smaller churches may not have as many, but the pastors can refer you somewhere. Yes. But biggest churches, I know all they do because they have those kinds of ministries. If it's something a little bit more serious, then you might need a therapist. Now, we said this on our original podcast, and I'm saying it again. A lot of Christians, we have but if I go to a regular therapist, when I tell them the Lord told me something, they're going to send me to the hospital because they think I'm going to be hallucinating. I get it. They are Christians counselors. They are Christians psychologists. Yes. They are Christian psychiatrists.
I got one.
So when I tell you there's people that are going to understand your faith and guide you clinically and professionally, but understanding your beliefs, they are there. And they have been educated, they are professionals, they have the tools, but they're also sharing your faith. Yes. So don't let that deter you. And then if you need medication, no shame either. Right. Because if you're a diabetic, you need insulin.
Yes.
If you have cancer, you need chemo or whatever other medication. Yes. If you have problems, my Spanish came out. Problems with high cholesterol, Lipitor, the testings medication. Yes. There you go. So the brain is an organ, and sometimes trauma changes the chemistry of the brain. And sometimes we need to normalize that with medication. Sometimes you only have to take it for a certain time. Sometimes you take it for a longer time. But even if it's for the long term, you're going to function better. You're going to be able to manage things. So
and
just
it's
go
what
for it.
Works best for you.
Right.
What works for her may not work for me.
Absolutely.
And the same that what works for me may not work for her. Mm-hmm. That's why you need to find out for yourself what works for you. I also want to say this to the seniors because I am 60, and in your insurance, yes, check it and make sure, see if your senior supplemental insurance covers mental wellness. I was fortunate that mine does.
What do you mean mental wellness?
That I can talk to my psychiatrist every month.
Well, and I think if you're talking about mental health benefits, all policies should have mental health benefits. Okay. Because in the 90s, there was something called parity. I think it was 96, but don't come for me if I got the wrong year. But I do remember it was in the 90s. Parity came and made it mandatory that all insurance covered mental health the same way medical was covered. So no, your insurance should have mental health coverage. Now, they might have additional programs for mental health, but your basic counselor and psychiatrist, you should have coverage if you have insurance.
That's excellent because that means that all of us have
access to
the opportunity to have access to what we need to be a better you. Okay? And that's great.
Yeah. Now, some insurances, and I've worked with insurance for many years, you may think, well, maybe I can handle if you have a not a copay. father, or either a high co-insurance or a high deductible that you haven't met. That's a whole nother podcast by itself. But just to say real quick, and the reason you're not going is because of cost. There are low cost clinics. You can call certain counselors to get it's called oh my god, I can't remember. But they like a reduction when you pay out of pocket. They can make a different pricing, and most jobs, not all of them, have EAP, Employer Assistance Program. And depending on your employer, you might have 3, 4 visits. So at least it's a start. There are programs that handle things like Celebrate Recovery, like we learned the other day, Story Ministry,
Yes.
that work with mental health. So there are Christian programs right now that, and I know when this airs, so stay tuned for the interview with Story Ministry. That it is a ministry for churches for mental health. It's coming, I think, in 2 weeks. So I'm giving you the heads up. So they are source resources if you're, even though you have the benefit through insurance, but if the co-insurance or the um, deductible is too high, there are options.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I'm so thankful that we have
Mhm.
a lot of resources out there
Yes.
to help us. Unfortunately, there's some people with no insurance. And I mean, we have to, that's reality.
Yeah.
Okay. But hopefully you can have someone that you trust, that you can talk to. And there are also programs out there.
Yes.
Okay. There are programs out there that will still help you. And like Naty was talking about, there are some programs that will help you according to your income. So especially if you're low income, there are programs that will definitely help you. But we just wanted to give you ideas and avenues and resources that you can use. And just keep reminding you that your brain is just as important as every other organ in your body. And we have to treat it that way. When a person gets cancer, I don't know if they feel shame. I think the first thing they feel is fear. But when you are having a mental health breakdown, okay, that's like one of your organs not working properly. And we will also want to let you know that suicide hotline, 988. You need to talk to someone. You feeling depressed, anxiety, whatever, 988. Okay? If it's you and you can reach out to
A counselor to talk.
a counselor, but if not a counselor and it's a very, very serious mental breakdown, hopefully you'll have someone around you that will be able to call 911 and you can get the help. Okay? But if you know someone that needs help and you have their contact information, love them enough to call 911 so that they can receive the help that they need. Okay?
And if you have a family member, including children, where there is a mental health emergency, taking them to the emergency room is an option. Just
Oh,
so you know.
yes, definitely. And they can do what they need to do there and refer you
Absolutely.
to others, for a longer term of getting help. So hopefully we've given you some good ideas that you can do to help your mental wellness.
Let's reaffirm the importance of prioritizing mental health and well-being every day. An apple a day keeps the doctor away. Self-care helps us keep our mental health where it needs to be.
Yes.
And seeking help is not only acceptable, but it's essential.
It is essential. It is. It's not shameful like it used to be. When I was growing up, it was shameful.
It is.
And
Yes.
the sad thing is, a lot of men came from Vietnam But when they came back, they were not taken care of by the government like they were supposed to be. One day you're in a rice paddy, whatever you're doing, not good, seeing things around you death, and then they send you home. And what do? You have bad dreams. You wake up screaming in the middle of the night in cold sweats. You take that and it turns into anger, and then it becomes a domestic violence issue. Okay? I'm so thankful today. We have so many avenues, but you have to think about it. Back then, we didn't have the avenues, we didn't have the help, and then there was a stigma of you being crazy or of you being slow, and especially the people that came from Vietnam, they call them shell shock. So you just stayed clear of them. It was like your uncle that you kept in the back room upstairs and told him not to come out when you have company. But today, I'm thankful today. We have a plethora of programs that you can find, Google, that you can find to help your mental wellness. Okay?
So we're wrapping up. We are so grateful that you're here. Please comment, hit the subscribe button so that you can be part of this community. Let's start engaging with each other. Tell us your stories. Tell us what your questions and things that you want to hear from us. We really want to hear from you. So don't forget to share this video with your friends, your family, anybody that you think that can benefit from it. Join us on social media so that we can continue this conversation. The Rising Muse is our social media everywhere. Instagram, Pinterest, TikTok, at the Rising Muse. That's who we are. So until the next time.
But before we leave,
Yes.
we just need to make sure that you remember that seeking help is not only acceptable, but essential for our well-being.
Amen to that.
All right?
So until next time, take care of yourselves and each other.
Yes.
And don't forget to thrive. Have a blessed day.
Bye-bye.